Hi folks, I'm doing a fairly late night blog. It's been a long day today for the renovation of my new house, Heron House. If anyone's interested, I'd just like to show you the progress that I've got up to today. As you can see, most of the paint, I know the light is fairly bad in here because obviously it's got dark now, nights are drawing in. The paper's pretty much all off the walls in here, and it's revealed a few nasties. As you can see, there's a few bits and pieces that have blown, and I'm trying to establish really what the best way is to do this, whether to dry line it or whether to plaster the walls again. But obviously to plaster them I'm going to have to take off what's already there, which takes a while. What I found by looking upstairs is that if I dry line either the window over here or the doorway, the issues that I've got, which aren't huge issues, are the fact that I've got to, sorry for moving the camera about too much, the dry lining will stick out, well, probably match up with the height of the architrave. So I'll have to end up padding out the architrave to make it look semi-okay. And likewise with the window, because it's a 1930s house, it's got these lovely tiled windowsills, which actually I don't mind, but I'm going to keep them, but they don't actually overlap the wall at all. So as a result, I'm going to have to have this wall replastered. I haven't got an option there unless I took them off and got some new tiles. But that might be savable because it isn't too badly blown. What else have we done? In the hallway, we took down the old underlay from upstairs and we've put it across the hallway because it's really quite a nice, don't know if you can see that in this light, well you can in this room, it's a parquet floor. And the office isn't quite as good as the hallway, but it certainly is in the lounge. If you can see in here, it's a lovely floor, so we're doing our utmost to try and stop that from getting damaged. Lovely pink, hey? Looks salmon on the phone, but it isn't, it's pink. Right, I'll show you what happened upstairs. Right, it's going to go dark, I haven't got any lights on, hang on. Right, up here, similar scenario. Yesterday, I made my first video, which didn't go really that well. I'm not used to talking to the camera, but I'm hopefully going to get better at it. There was a piece of architrave around the window, around the ceiling here, that had just a board at the bottom of the architrave. And when I bought the house, I couldn't tell what was going on, apart from the fact I knew there was nothing in the loft, because initially it looked a little bit like chimney, or I don't know really what it was, until we pulled it down. And then we realised that must have been the top of a wardrobe. And the reason initially we didn't think it was because the coving, as you can see up there, covered the window, but the actual extremity of the wardrobe didn't. So anyway, to cut a long story short, we pulled it down and there was a small hole in the ceiling and no catastrophes. Our plasterer said he can plaster over this Artex and hopefully job will be a good one. Carpet's up because we've got the lino downstairs. What's not so good, right, this wall over here, right, this was originally a big fitted wardrobe that came out to about, I don't know if you can really see that, came out to see that line in the plaster that I've just made over where my foot is? Anyway, I had a big wardrobe in there, that's all you need to know, and it's been ripped out. Behind it, the plaster was all fairly loose. At the minute, I don't really know what the hell I'm going to do. I don't know whether to dry line the damn thing, or whether the plaster is going to be able to redo. I think he should be able to. I'm just a bit concerned that if he plasters it with this render on, that'll crack again through the plaster. But I'm no plasterer. This is all a bit new to me, so I've took off all the loose stuff. And for the sake of what's left, which is only that little bit there and that bit there, I'm going to take the whole shebang off. And plasterer's coming tomorrow to give me a quote, and we'll see what happens. If he says that'll be better to dry line it, then I'll dry line it, but I don't really want to after all that grief. Downstairs is a different ball game because I haven't stripped off all the plaster, so I haven't wasted time doing that. So dry lining it isn't so much of an issue. With this wall, yeah, I need to get a better camera for this with a wide angle. Yeah, this wall. Yeah, it's taken me a fair while to strip, to be fair. And if I'd have known that, I would have put dry lining board straight over it. But as we discussed earlier, can't do it with the windowsills, which rules out two walls. And likewise, if I'd done it at the door, I'll have to sort out the architrave, which I suppose in the grand scheme of things isn't that much. And I don't really know, which I'll find out tomorrow, if I do dry line it, if I can get away with just taping it and fillering it, and that'll be an invisible join, or you'll always really notice it. And I might end up having to have it skimmed anyway, so if that's the case, screw the dry lining, I'll just chip off the shit that I've got on there, excuse the French, and we'll go straight for a skim coat. I've got a good lad working for me, he's getting a fair bit done during the day, and I'll probably just utilise him while I'm at work. So what else is there? In this room, they've got a big old radiator, and at the moment they're single glazed windows, which is going to make for a chilly winter, because I can't afford to have the windows done yet. But what I'm thinking about doing is, rather than having one radiator and none that end, because obviously the the central heating can only cope with so much BTUs, I thought about basically putting a smaller radiator on that window and another one on that window, rather than one whopping great radiator on one side, because that's the side that I'll be sleeping. If there's only one radiator, the missus can have that side. She wasn't too chuffed about having two radiators, so she gets the cold end. Yeah, I think we're more or less there. Oh, I bought loads of other stuff today with the anticipation of doing it, but that all went out the window when I looked at this wall. I've got some cutting discs. Oh, God dear. Use PPE, this stuff gets on your lungs. Yeah, I need to box in my sockets. I've got the gear, got the cutting discs, but that'll be another time. And we'll go over that. I'm trying to do a few more vlogs, is that what you call them? Vlogs? Yeah. Trying to get the hang of the whole thing on what to do. And hopefully some of you guys may want to follow me on the journey of doing my house up. Gain a bit of experience along the way. and I don't know if there's that many people that have done this and documented the whole thing. Plenty of professionals that do it, but they're only just little bits and bobs. So to see a whole house renovation and to see how a rookie gets on with it and the pitfalls associated with it, hopefully there won't be too many of them. Yeah, there you go. So hopefully things will get good. I don't sound too convincing, do I? Anyway, yeah, okay, so I'll do another one tomorrow, and by that time the plasterers should have come round. They'll give me, because I've had several plasterers come round to give me quotes. I still haven't actually had the quotes through yet, but at least they'll be able to give me some idea on what I can do with that wall and how much it's likely to cost eventually. And to be fair, you know, another couple of days and this room could in theory be plastered. I've got to get the radiator off the wall, and I've revealed the tails. Is that it? Some pretty old school kind of, I can't really quite see if I'm doing this, old school plumbing fittings. Really heavy duty, but anyway, yeah, and I'm hoping to, luckily there's only about 2 boards the entire length of the floor, so I'll be able to lift them couple of boards, run a couple of pipes through, and hopefully supply another radiator, and job will be a good one. I need to look into the plumbing a bit more. I'm no plumber either, so you know, that's something else we might learn along the way. I think I can do it because there's a 22mm pipe over there, which I think is the main artery that's feeding the system. So I think we can take another radiator off, providing the boiler can handle it. So yeah, here goes. Right, so I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers folks, bye.